Belle continued. Steph was irritated that Belle hadn't acknowledged her approach. Even more annoyingly, she continued to ramble. I suppose most people would assume he was a drunk, or a spice zombie. I noticed some blood on the steps leading up from the archway. Maybe he was dragged up here. Or he might have dragged himself up and collapsed on the bench. Steph pointed to the hard-to-miss evidence for her theory, a bloody handprint on the handrail running alongside the steep path. Oh, yes, of course. I didn't notice that. Well, you'd had a bit of a shock. It's your first shift. Steph couldn't resist a dig. And you're only a special. Right, yes, that's true. Would it be okay if I stuck around for a bit? My shift's over, but I kind of feel responsible for him. A murder investigation was outside the remit of a special, especially one with as little experience as Belle. We've got it covered. It's likely to be a long night. Think yourself lucky that you can go home now. Belle's lips turned downwards in the manner of a disappointed child. Steph wondered how old she was. Mid-40s? About the right age for a midlife crisis. There was no upper age limit for volunteering as an SC, but these days more and more of those who joined were in their early 20s, using the specials as a springboard to a career in the regular force. Some people volunteered after experiencing crime firsthand as a victim. Others were inspired by the opportunity to give something back to their community, or because they got a buzz out of helping people. Which was Belle? If pushed, Steph would have bet on her being one of the do-gooders. Steph surveyed her surroundings. A steep, irregular stone pathway approximately 80 metres long, Greestone Stairs connected the Lincoln Minster Yard with Lindham Hill, one of the city's busiest thoroughfares. The stairs were reputed to be haunted. Now there would be one more ghost to add to the motley collection of hanged clerics, rolling bishops' heads and hovering orbs of light. Perhaps these spectres were huddled around the body already, eager to claim the young man's spirit as one of their own. Wasn't hard to believe on that cold January night, the steps sparkling with frost, a veil of freezing fog obscuring the view of the creepy stone arch farther down. Steph shivered. She approached the corpse. The glow from a nearby Victorian street lamp cast a fuzzy light on his upturned face, bringing his features into soft focus. Steph leaned in, noting the brown hair slick with bloody highlights, the pallid skin, the lifeless, staring eyes. A CSI began taking photographs of the body. When he'd finished, Steph donned a pair of latex gloves and together they searched the victim's pockets. The scene was illuminated suddenly by the headlamps of an ambulance parking further up the hill. Good. The man was dead all right, but only someone medically qualified could pronounce life extinct. The CSI retrieved a plastic driver's license from the young man's wallet. Mark Ripley, 23. No one said anything. So now the victim had an identity. They would be able to reconstruct his life bit by bit over the coming days and weeks. That made a difference to a lot of people, but not to Steph. She had a professional interest in getting to know Mark Ripley. That was all. What he was like as a person was of no interest to her unless it helped advance the case. The wallet contained a plastic £10 note, some loose change, a credit card, and a dozen or more loyalty cards for stores and cafes. His phone was in his inside coat pocket. It wasn't locked. A selfie on the screen showed a smiling Mark Ripley looking very much alive. Beside him was an attractive, dark-haired young woman. The picture had been taken at 10 to midnight outside a cab office. Steph's colleague, D.S. Elias Harper, looked over her shoulder. Shame he didn't get in the taxi with her. Maybe he'd still be alive. Steph nodded. She turned around and noticed with a stab of irritation that Jane Bell was still hanging around. She was inspecting the blood on the handrail, probably still beating herself up over missing such an obvious clue.